Hello.
And we live.
We are. Hi, buddy.
We live.
Okay.
Salutations, my cheese-eating friend. Oh, there's the puppy dog.
He smiled.
Look at that smile.
Where are you going?
So happy. Awesome.
I have the garage cracked, and I'm trying to make sure he doesn't try and fly the coop. I don't think he would, but you never know.
You never know.
What do you got? What are you smoking?
Trying not to burn my shorts.
Hey! Get back here.
Famous last words.
Do you want to go back inside? Is that it? All right, hold on. Come here, bud. Come on.
Hey, Brennan. What's up, Mr. Dan?
Oh. If I'm in here and he's in the kitchen, Katie says he paces back and forth. If I bring him in here, he stands at the door and looks back in. I don't know what to do.
I just did a thing that I've been procrastinating doing for weeks and weeks and weeks. I finally just did it.
What is it?
I signed up for cigar bid.
Oh, it's dangerous.
Bro, so literally I was like, all right, first of all, where do I start? There's just so much. And I was like, you know what? Let me look at Padron and just see what's what. And so I was trying to remember, you explained to me how this works and like how the bidding works and everything else. And to be honest, I kind of just don't remember, but
I will see here. Like, I don't do
the real bidding. You do the.
I don't do the bidding. I do the free falls.
Right. So I'm on Padron. Actually, I just clicked this, and it's just the normal line, the brown wrapper.
Yeah, the 1,000 series.
Yeah, there's no free fall on here. But if I go to brands, they have it all spelled out like hardcore. So like they have the 26, they have the 64. So like I just look at the 26. There's obviously there's no free fall drop whatever there. And then if I go to the 64 anniversary, again nothing there. So like I did try to do T52s. There was no drops there. So like I have a feeling that
there's the free falls are. I mean, there's rarely anything super high end, up for grabs there. So.
My phone keeps unplugging because of the case. So when it plugs itself back in, it like goes doo-doo and like gets all. Hey, my man Chris is here.
My man. What is up, guys?
Que pasta.
Tonight is the night.
What do you got?
I brave the Totus Listius again.
Nice.
Phil knows I tried this when we first got him in. I think it was the smaller ring gauge, and I fucking hated it.
Yeah, you made some interesting faces that night.
Horrible.
There was a lot of this.
So I'm trying it in a bigger ring gauge. We'll see.
Different wrapper?
No, same cigar, just a bigger gauge. It's not a Corona. It's a Toro.
Toro is the size of sizes, man. That's the way to do it.
This blend, he wanted back in. He just stared. Yeah, pretty much.
So Dan ordered 60 JRs and so disappointed. Why were you disappointed, Dan?
All right, well, if you're going to be in, you got to be calm.
What's new, Chris, man?
What's up? Check it out. I got a Illusione one-off and a Robusto size.
Oh. I I don't think I had some. There's another shop across the county that had some of those, and I don't know if I bought that one or not. I feel like I've had it before, but I can't remember.
I had one in the Corona size, I believe. It was a smaller Vitola, and it was badass. So I'm excited to have this one.
Good shit. An aristocrat.
I am pairing my Stogies with a good old monster.
Yeah, I got a.
No,
What do you got, Phil?
No, say it.
Oh, I got a Omegang Three Philosophers, which is
I think I've heard of that one.
It's a quad beer, but this is a wine barrel aged series they're doing, and it's fucking tasty. I've had a million of them.
So they did a quad in a wine cask.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and it's a sherry wine cast, I think, because you get all those like really, really rich, datey flavors from the quad, and then like you get all these super sweet other side. It's really tasty.
So I posted these on the THP Instagram. One of our followers, listeners, Jordan Hill, sent me some prints of the stuff. That's a Black Racer shot I like a lot.
That's
That's
awesome.
a pretty snake, man.
Little sunset panorama.
Very
Oh,
cool.
it's real pretty, man. That's real nice.
And last but not least,
A
couple of box turtles getting it on.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's fucking awesome.
Cool.
So I got to get frames for these. They'll probably get hung up in here somewhere. I think the Black Racer one for sure. I'll add it to the wall with the cigar signs and some other stuff.
Yeah, man. The Black Racer's awesome.
What do you got going on tonight, Phil? What's your pairing? What do you got?
Oh, Scott, the pairing is shot to hell.
Oh, no.
I'm currently drinking 7-Eleven iced cappuccino.
Nice.
I don't know why, but I like them. They have like an aftertaste that is gross, but I enjoy it. But I am doing the Undercrown, the Sun Grown in what they call a Grand Toro.
Yeah, a lot of companies do grand that.
Yeah. It's a Sun Grown. I enjoy it. It's good. I did a little crown cut just to be that guy. And
Sun-growns in those I'm really not a fan of. I love the shade. I love the Maduro, but that sun-grown, every time I smoke one, I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't had one in ages. So this is one of the ones I got from that Liga event. They were like, oh, you need 3 more cigars. I was like, fuck it. I grabbed one of them. And, but yeah, so I'm going to give it another spin. I hate it because I'm going to have to, they put the little band on the bottom, right? That says Sun Grown.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because, I don't know why, but they always get super duper stuck on there. And I have to I don't want to say fuck up the end of it, but I have to.
They use, they really, like Romacraft stuff, it's on there, and they make it so it's not supposed to come off.
Right. So it's funny, we always talk about Romacraft bands not coming off, right? So the other night I had my chick friend Sydney came over. She's in town. She's actually in school in. Hey.
What's up, man?
So what's up, Bill? So she's actually up at school in Denver, and she's in college and law school, and none of the kids, or not just kids, none of the other students smoke. So she's like by herself, and she goes to the cigar bar, and she's the only person under the age of 50 or whatever. So she was here, and we had some Romas, and I was literally, the words were coming out of my mouth like, it annoys Justin and I because you can never get the band off, and she's just like, perfect. I was so mad. I know that's stupid, but I was so jealously angry that she was just like, oh, there's glue on these? Yeah.
The only ones of Romacraft stuff that peel off easily are Neanderthals, and that's just because they have the taper.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Cox, don't call him Bill. That's rude. So, Billy, what are you pairing tonight?
I'm going with some bullets.
Oh man, hey, that stuff's fucking great.
It is.
time.
That's great. It's good stuff. It's almost my go-to. That and Jameson.
Bullet rye is what I like making my old fashions with.
I haven't tried the rye yet. I need to. I keep meaning to, but
a little bit less sweet, a lot more dry, but kind of the same flavor, and it's really nice.
That's why they call it a rye.
yeah, for sure. I got to get on that. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Exceptional, man. I had about 1,350 beers with the family today, so that was great.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why everyone's like been day drinking because Billy's like, I've been day drinking, and then Chris is like, I've been drinking. I'm like, is there like a holiday I'm just not aware of? Is that?
No, I'm supposed
It's like
to.
leftovers Mother's Day.
I was supposed to be working today, but I had vacation, so I'm just living it up.
Oh snap!
I won't lie. I had scotch at work. It was one of those days.
Billy, you animal.
Yeah. We closed the shop at 6, and like 5:30, my employer comes around the corner. He's got I don't even remember what brands it was. He's got some Japanese scotch, and he's got a bottle of bourbon. And he's like, "Glasses, gentlemen, glasses." Had to happen.
Phil said, "Does the Pope touch little kids?"
Mm.
All right.
Hey, Dom. It's funny you brought up the sherry cask, Chris. Do you guys ever drink sherry? Like not cooking sherry, obviously, but like real sherry or no?
I have had it, but only once.
So I love 90s TV, and Frasier was one of my favorite shows.
I fucking love Frasier, dude.
Fucking love Frasier. And it was on Netflix, and I was watching Frasier because I know every single episode because I'm that nerd. And they always drank sherry. And I was like,
in the proper glasses, too. The little sherry glasses.
So I happen to have 2 of those glasses. They actually came with a set that one of my mentors got me of Benedictine and brandy. And it was like the bottle of B&B with like the 2 little snifters, you know? And I forgot I had a bottle of Manzanilla sherry. And I won't lie, it made the show better.
I bet it did.
That show is the dialogue in that show is really, really well put together.
Oh, awesome.
It's the sitcom for intellects.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that goes over some people's heads. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff that went over my head, but the character...
It all goes over my head.
The character development, the writing, it's fantastic.
They always came off a little uppity and pretentious. Like, I understood that was what the show was, but...
Yeah.
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 It's a good show, though. I'll still watch it.
I think it's funny if you like binge watch Cheers and then you go to Frasier and like you watch how they changed his character a little bit here and a little bit there. I almost liked Frasier and Cheers more than I liked Frasier and Frasier.
I didn't even know the 2 were related.
Oh yeah, he was one of the main characters on Cheers, and then people liked him so much they gave him his own. People liked the character so much that they gave the character their own show.
I believe the same guy wrote the either late 70s or early 80s show Taxi.
Oh, really?
Taxi? Yeah, with the guy from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And I have seen that show, but I don't remember much about it. But I think it's all the same writer, and it might even be one of the guys that helped write Seinfeld as well. Kind of all those sitcoms kind of fall in that same realm house of dialogue based kind of.
Oh yeah. I was talking to Henry the other day because Henry and I are major Star Wars nerds, and we were talking about the new season of Mandalorian, and you know how we rewatched. Wow, I can't say that. We rewatched Rebels and Clone Wars and the cartoons and shit, and we were commenting specifically on like Cheers, for example. So the first like 8 seasons of Cheers, there's like 20 or like 25 episodes per season. And now you have stuff like it's 6 episodes or 8 episodes a season. And granted, they're putting way more money into it. They're putting way more production. You know what I mean? Cheers had one fucking set. It was a bar. That's it. It was a one-dimensional bar. But it still would be nice to have more than 6 episodes a season, you know?
For sure.
But think about it with Mandalorian. I think it's 8 episodes, somewhere in there. It's short. Those are all 1 hour to a little bit over episodes with no commercials.
True.
And then if you go to Cheers, those are all 20-minute or 22-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So the amount of content. But man, there are shows out there that, you know, Breaking Bad, I think, is one of them. It has a ton of episodes with a ton of content, and it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I mean to.
Dude, Breaking Bad is exceptional. Yeah.
It starts slow, but then it picks up.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told.
I can get behind
it has. I would even go to say almost every season has slow parts in it, and I think, Billy, if you watch it, you'd agree. There's going to be moments of non-activity in every season, but those kind of help you with character development, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. But then once it hits you with what it's trying to hit you with, you're like, holy crap. You know?
Yeah, like Walking Dead. You guys ever watch Walking? Like, there was a period where, like, every season, like in the middle there, I think it was like maybe season 4 or 5. It was just there was nothing going on the entire season. It was so dry and boring. I was like, we want zombies, we want, you know, people fighting. We don't want. Yeah, but there's character development, and then there's unnecessary dialogue and conversations that could have been summed up in 2 minutes rather than 10, and it'd be half the episode. Walking Dead just went downhill.
I never got into it because, like, the whole zombie thing, it's awesome to a certain extent for me, but like it kind of gets mundane. And my coworker, who's like obsessed with it, he loves it. He was telling me that, like, yes, the zombie thing gets mundane, but the character development and like the heel turns and like the drama of the people having to survive in that world.
It's much more about that than the zombies. The zombies might as well be part of the setting. It's more about like you put yourself in their shoes of like, what would you do?
What I heard was that it was only supposed to be that first season. They weren't expecting it to be so popular. And
10 years later.
Then it did, and they're like, oh man, we got to start writing more seasons. So that can only last so long, you know.
My issue with The Walking Dead, and this is, I'm going to get real nerdy. I have been a comic collector since I was like a tot. It was like the first thing I read was comics. So I've been reading The Walking Dead since it came out in like 2000. I have early issues. I have issues back to like I think it finished at like issue 170 something. I have issues back to like 6 and 7.
You have them graded, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not a grader. I read everything. I'm the guy that like read every fucking comic.
Yeah.
And dude, I've got like key issues. Anyway, this isn't a comic thing, but like, I've got the death of Gwen Stacy from Spider-Man. I've got old school key issues of like amazing stuff. But I was obsessed. Like the comic from Walking Dead, produced by Image. Kirkman is like a fucking genius. And so I loved it so much. And then I heard there was a TV show. Well, the first season of the TV show and the first 6 episodes, I believe it's the first 6 episodes or issues of the comic, are parallel each other. In fact, the first episode
like
of the comic is almost identical. Oh, dude, almost verbatim. Like this is exactly what happens. And then
they already had their story.
Yeah, dude. And then remember the comic, it just ended, right? Almost around the same time that the show ended. But the comic makes the TV show, look like a Disney movie.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I've heard they are rough.
I've never read something and cried so hard than when I read that fucking book, man. It's not only do I have every issue, I also have the episodic omnibuses. So I have all the big books that go along. That collect all of those comics, so I let people borrow them to read them. Oh my god!
Yeah, dude, I need to find that now because now I'm curious.
That's cool.
So,
I like books with pictures in them.
Chris,
what's
up, man? So,
are you really into zombie things? What's your favorite zombie movie then?
You know what? I'm not into zombie things almost at all. But if I was gonna do my favorite zombie movie is for sure the old school Day of the Dead. Oh, what is that? Roberto. Man, I'm gonna say his name wrong, but the old 70s old school zombie movies are so fucking good because they scared the shit out of you without showing you that much zombie. That's good. 28 Days Later did a really good job of it too, I thought.
And that I was about to jump in. I didn't want to like cut people off, but I love 28 Days. That is one of the best movies ever. But people yell at me because they're like, "It's not a zombie movie. It's like a pandemic movie.
Sure.
It's like an outbreak." I'm like, "Yeah, but again, it's still kind of zombie, you know?"
Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah.
What about you?
Sure.
Yeah. What's up? What's your zombie go-to?
Mine? Oof. I'm more of like a slasher guy. But I do like Day of the Dead, like 70s horror. I mean, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
I thought, probably gonna make fun of me, but I thought World War Z was done really well.
I thought World War Z is a good movie. I watched it work all the time.
Yeah, that was a good one. I wasn't expecting to be good. I kind of thought it would be campy and whatever, but how they did it was really good.
Jeff wants to know what the flag is behind me.
Jeff, come on, bro. The white pony.
You should know. That's right.
The white pony, bro.
I thought forever his name was Geoff.
Geoff.
I'm sure
We
that
call that now.
all the time.
I'm sure he's never heard that. Yeah.
Right?
Geoff.
Cigar note real quick.
Off.
So the Underground is actually quite tasty this evening. Maybe it's the crap coffee I'm drinking, but already starting to burn like shit. So Justin might be right.
He usually is.
Don't tell him that.
He already knows. He already knows.
I mean, we know it, but
See, this is odd. Tastes horrible on the front, but after it sits for a minute, it's actually not bad. I still don't like it. I'm really
At least
like
you're giving it a second shot, though, man.
Man, this is Steve Saka stuff, though. This should not taste this bad. There's a giant roach trying to get into my house right now. I need to feed it to the androgynous.
catch it.
It's probably pregnant.
It's just not good, dude. I don't know what it is about it. Phil, I'll have to buy one and send you one and get your thoughts on it because I can't put my finger on it. It's just not.
Dude, I've tried to go to my cigar spot 4 times this week, and my dumbass keeps forgetting that because of COVID, they're closing at 6 p.m. So I have to go on my day off, and I have to go like before 6 p.m. because I get there and I'm like, crap. I've done it 4 times because like I'm getting kind of thin on the inventory, not me.
Well, we're back to regular hours and the lounge is back open and all that good stuff. So we're back in full swing.
Good. Good.
Real good. I told Justin about this. My wife, for my birthday a couple months ago, got me a subscription to My Cigar Pack, which is like 5 cigars a month. I think it's like 30. It's way less than cigars will cost, like $35 or $40 or something. And you put in your flavor profile, and they send you 5 or 6 a month. They give you a little write up on it. Like, man, that's some really good shit out of that pack.
You've sent me some of them. Yeah, you showed me,
dude.
Legit.
That La Flora is what it's called. La Flora. Those things are exceptional. I'm trying my hardest to get more.
La Pora with a P?
No, La Flora. FLORA.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Fast zombies are scarier than slow zombies. Slow zombies, it's like, unless I'm stuck in a wheelchair or something and can't move faster than they can,
I'm bugged.
Yeah. Fast
Chris,
zombies.
I didn't want to interrupt you. My bad. I didn't want to.
No, dude, you're fine. I'm like a chronic rambler too. So you please interrupt me.
That's why 28 Days Later and like World War Z and
What was that one in like the early 2000s that they did? It was a remake.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead.
So that one, I always thought that one was decent.
I always like that one with the little baby zombie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You seen the original black and white one? No, was it Night of the Living Dead?
Do I have to pay for tickets and railroad bonds?
It's been a while.
You know what I'm talking about? It's
been a long time,
Dead, right?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, that I thought that was that. I don't know, man. I like black and white vintage flicks.
Where it just like pans onto the woman screaming for like 32 seconds.
Yep.
Dude, that's awesome. And it's a Flora de Nata. Flora de Nata.
Yeah. All right. So
and the one that I had was the Loyalty. It's awesome.
In that pack, in the bundles that you get monthly, is it like up and coming companies? Is it like smaller companies? Is it mainstream stuff?
It's a very good collection of both. And I'm not the best at remembering all of the different like brands. But like they do Romacraft, or they'll do Drew Estate, like the Huerta edition stuff or Herrera stuff.
Yeah, Herrera.
Man, and I wish I had a list. That's one thing that like I kind of wish they did is they send you the cigars and they send you like a scan app thing where you go online and you read about all of them, but they don't send you like just a fucking piece of paper that tells you what they all are. And it's really hard to figure out what a cigar is just by looking at it. Like you can't just pick up a cigar and look at the wrapper and be like, I know what this is. But they're always higher end. So every stick that's in there is usually $8 to $14. So like 2 or 3 months ago, the pack before the first one I got had Romacraft stuff in it. And then they'll have like really like kind of rare sticks. That's the other thing they like to express in the pack is like they'll try to get rare things that you wouldn't get normally at your store. So it's kind of their shtick.
Cool. I like
spiel.
Their spiel. That one I sent you, Justin. Man, and you guys, y'all's memories impressed me with remembering the names of the different cigars and stuff. There's a lot of juice on that. That one I sent you is badass. The Crown Heads La Colacion.
I was anxious to try that one because I like a lot of the Crown Head stuff.
And then that one's paired up with they did that blend with somebody else. Oh, the Willie Huerta from Drew Estate, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That roach once in. It's big enough to be a second dog.
My man. So give me some snakes on these stogies. Y'all give me what's going on in y'all's world with the reptiles. What do y'all got going on?
Beards.
Dude, I mean, you've only got 3 eggs.
5. I got a clutch of 5.
Nah, 2 of them.
Oh, because 2 of them are his. Okay, you and Billy can fight over that. If I was smart, I'd hold on to all of them indefinitely.
You know, it's hard, especially like with a lot of like the guards that I've read and working with some of the lines. So you invest a lot of time and money into some of the lineages that you're working with. For me, some of the rack house stuff, the bacon line, STG stuff. Then you hatch out these fucking amazing babies, and you're like, this is exactly what I want. And then you've got to decide whether to make some level of monetary investment back, or if you're going to keep these things, that's not good, Phil. It's not good. Or continue building your own line. So you're not wrong. Holding on to clutches or most of clutches is always a good idea.
Well, it was actually something I was thinking about today. With chondros and the Bairds. I think most of the older guys that breed chondros especially would agree. You'd be really smart to hold on to every single baby indefinitely to really get an idea and really get a feel for what's going what direction. And then as they get older, make them available. That way they're super established. They're rock solid. You have a much better. The same with the bears because the bears go through such a dramatic change. Like the babies that I got, I have two that I bought as babies, and one of them is I posted it the other day on Instagram, and that thing is blowing me away with the colors. Like that thing is going to be like your quintessential Mexican bears with the gray head, the hay yellow body, and oh, I got popped.
My man.
The hay yellow body and I don't know the clutch mate. What's supposed to be a clutch mate? I was told they were clutch mates. Doesn't have any of that going on. So it's one of those things. But when you saw them as babies, you wouldn't know they were going that direction. You know, so it's like it'd be really wise to hold on to them for as long as possible. And then I was thinking about because I was on Fauna scouring for things that I can't afford. And
sending me stuff a week too late.
Huh?
Sending me stuff a week too late.
What are you talking about? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then thinking about like, what if we all treated buying new animals like we treated buying a new car, a new appliance, something like a major purchase, like we actually stopped and said, I really like this one. I'm going to keep shopping around and really like sit on it and keep a lookout on like Conjures again.
But see, if I may interject, when you first said like buying a new car, I'm like, oh God, I destroy cars. I cannot treat my cars.
I'm not in the literal sense.
But then I started thinking about it, and this goes back to what we talked about maybe a week or two ago of striking when the iron's hot. Because how many times have we debated on a line or a specific specimen of an animal that you're like, man, that thing's, I want that exact one, but you know what? Let me just wait a little bit, and then boom, you missed your window. You know,
Too many times.
Too many times.
I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's the better rephrasing of it is being much more selective about.
Oh, sure.
And I mean, obviously, I can't really say much because I bought every Bears I could find for a period.
Different though.
I probably wouldn't have one of these back here if I did that.
Which is the greatest backdrop of all time.
I'll keep using it.
I was gonna say is like for the Bears though, you didn't already have a bunch of, for lack of a better word, choice animals. You wanted to start getting them, and now you've got the ones you got not because you wanted quantity over quality. It's because that's the only thing that's been available, right?
Well, that and I just like enjoy them so much that I wanted more.
Sure, and that's a beautifully justifiable reason. You know, I mean, I've been going native crazy, man. I've been catching a lot of snakes, and I've been selective with the ones that I've kept, and I basically did what you just talked about because I'm not paying for them. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like, man, this pygmy is smoking, and it's smaller. I don't feel bad about taking a big, beautiful animal out of the wild. And it's March, so this stuff just popped out, or it popped out maybe 5-6 months ago, whatever. I'm like, you know what? This one's coming home.
Can I tell a story real quick about a pygmy?
Always. Can you guys hear that right now?
A little bit. It's not distracting though.
Is someone getting clapped?
Honestly, at first, that's what it sounded like.
It sounds like a horse walking down the street.
Someone's been
Like
riding
a
on a
cop
horse
horse?
with no name.
It
Like a
sounds
cop
like somebody losing it with like a small cow pistol. On my side, at least.
At
Break
first,
yourself, fool!
like at first, it was like intermittent, like someone is literally shooting a gun, but at this point, they would have had to reload.
Is it a nail gun?
Yeah, it sounds like
That
a
would-
nail gun too. Yeah.
That would be appropriate, yeah.
Yeah, 10 o'clock at night. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Phil does live in Florida.
Boy, you got your vest on. You better get that shit.
No, I'm all
I
right.
don't want my boy taking shots in the streets.
The more I think about it, if it was gunshots, it'd be way louder with the tennis courts right here. And now it stopped. It was probably some kid with a firecracker. Who knows? Sorry,
Hey,
Billy. I want to hear your pygmy story, please, because I've been going pygmy crazy right now.
He's
They're
got big
beautiful.
fever.
It's
Yeah, I got
probably not what. Okay, so I'm at work. I'm on the ambulance. I'm not a cool guy on the fire truck. The fire truck
What a
gets
nerd.
they get a
Now, are you
Hey,
driving around right now just bullshitting, or are you like?
no, we're just hanging out at the house.
Okay.
So the engine gets a brush fire, so just some vegetation or whatever on fire. They come back, and my driver, he's a hunter and all that. He knows I'm in the snakes, so he goes, "Hey, I got something in the back for you." Okay, so he found a pygmy during it. Okay, this is the bad part. He ends up dispatching it. Okay.
Where'd he like on over the radio?
Sure.
God damn it.
it. He ends up making it safe.
Right.
So, he brings it back because I told him I wanted to learn how to skin and tan and all that stuff. So he brings it and he's showing me how to do it. So we do that. Okay.
Cool. How big is the pig?
It was an adult female.
Okay.
So it was probably 2.5, 3.
It's a big
somewhere in
girl.
there. It was big, yeah.
Big girl.
So he thought it just ate
Skinny
something.
size.
Yeah, for sure. He thought it had a big meal in it before we, dissected this stuff. And I said, "Hey, I bet you that's not a meal." And we end up, cutting her open, getting the skin and all that.
Oh.
One of the coolest things I've ever seen. It was, she was gravid. All right, she had babies being formed. They were probably the size of a nickel,
Okay.
like each baby. And it was literally the embryos, like just to where the eyes were developed.
Oh,
That's kind
Like
of cool.
the whole baby was probably, where's that? I don't know, maybe 1.5 inches if you stretched it out.
Yeah.
There's probably 3 or 4 of them.
Wow.
I know a snake dying isn't, something we want to talk about, but
Yeah, but it's
but to see that and to see the process and like it was really cool to be like, oh, because I've never seen a live bearing snake, with all that. So
that's awesome.
yeah, it was actually really cool. I got pictures somewhere. If I find them, I'll send them to you.
Send them. Yeah. You guys
That's
necropsy.
super neat. Yeah.
You guys have necropsy enough snakes in your day, right? Or do you guys not do that?
I usually
I've
don't.
had it done, and I've when I worked for a vet, I've seen it done.
Okay.
You can see some cool stuff.
I was gonna say I've cut open a lot of passed away snakes, and it's interesting because obviously I'm not a medical professional in least capacity, but you can kind of get an idea what's what, and it's amazing the layout of everything, like how everything is like positioned and choreographed.
Yeah, it's got to have its place in that kind of structure.
And then like finding oviducts and like you follow the whole like reproductive system and everything. And like there's been times when we've actually had a gravid chameleon that passed, right? And the owner's all like sad and oh no, I think it was gravid, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, you know what? How long has it been dead? And we dissect or necropsy or whatever you want to call it, and sure as heck, there's an oviduct, and oh wow, there's 42 little bubbles in there. And literally just like sausage links, just milk out every egg, incubate, like 70-80% hatch rate.
Wow.
If it's at the right time,
Yeah.
I don't know why she died. I'll never know because I'm not a medical professional. I mean, it could have been anything. She could have been egg bound. She could have been cancer. I have no idea. But I always love stories like Billy's because like that's awesome. That's fascinating.
It was so cool to see, to actually see a baby snake 1 inch long, 1.5 inches long, to where there was no bone structure. It literally was just like
A
I don't know
noodle.
what to describe it to. Not even that. Like it was so small and tiny. If I ever find the pictures, I'll send it to you guys.
Did I ever show you guys the tumor from the large ashes cobra that we used to keep it underground?
I don't think so.
So this cobra was imported
remember you talked about it, but I don't think you
Yeah.
saw it.
This cobra was imported legitimately from Kenya. Ooh, I think in like maybe 2008, maybe. And it grew big quick. And we thought it was a girl because of the way that it probed, and it turned out to be a boy. And massive animal. We got it to like, it was probably about 8.5 foot when it passed, and it was healthy as a horse, man. There was no signs and nothing. Forgive me while I, go through this, find this photo. And it had a massive tumor along the side of it. And unfortunately, we did not send it off to be analyzed, but whoever does not want to see a dead snake, I would highly recommend you look away.
This is a house of learning doctors.
Right?
The stream just got medical, educational.
Right?
My man.
So here is, if Justin would be so kind as to share.
I'm sharing
So that
because I
is-
want to, not because you've asked me.
Yes, thank you. So that is the main body of the tumor. And it's hard to see by this picture, but basically your heart and lungs are right through here. And then this is actually some fatty tissue around ribs. You can't see me pointing, can you? Hold on.
Get the little pen tool.
Can you see it now?
There you go. We
Yeah,
see it now.
yeah.
So all right, so your heart and lungs start up in here, and then this is some of the GI tract right here, and then this section here is actually fatty tissue and mesentery on top of the ribs. So we've peeled the skin back on this side, and then this skin is still intact on the ribs. You can kind of see a rib poking through here, and then this is the actual tumor, and all this pink in here. These are actual cuts from my razor blade, unfortunately. But like these crevices in here, at first glance, you'd assume that this is just some kind of fat. And it's not. This is straight, for lack of a better synonym, tumor. And these pink sections here is where capillaries grew through the mesentery and attempted to grow into the tumor. And it couldn't because it's a friggin' tumor. But if we go to the next picture, you can see how big that tumor was.
Wow.
That is big.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big cobra.
So the moral of the story is don't let Phil operate on you because apparently he's not delicate with how he makes his cuts.
Well,
I like how you said razor blade, but that knife right there looks
Right.
like you just opened up that snake.
okay, all right, yeah, you got a point.
Those
Totally
are dull
like
pocket knives.
a Benchmade.
That's actually really, really exceptional.
It was a Kershaw. Actually,
Hey,
I haven't heard the midget thing in a while. That's actually funny, Cox.
I had a Kershaw in my pocket until about fucking 48 minutes ago. We're 43 minutes live. Just figured out. All right, so now we got a theme of this episode. I got a question, so I'll go ahead and pop it up. I had a few snakes going this year. Big fan of corn snakes. Justin knows I'm obsessed with corn snakes. I had a female razor from a little woodworm. Probably had her about. Dude, corn snakes are the best. They're just one of the coolest, neatest little animals. And so I had this girl. She was a ghost. Paired her up with a JMG line, coral, snow, female. Anyways, she was going to puke out some of the raddest shit. My favorite style of corn snake. And I've had her for about 3 years. She's a 2016. I got her from a buddy, bought her from SMR, John Soderbergh. So she meant a lot to me, right? Like that project, that line of animals. She was a Silver Queen ghost, which is kind of like a Miami phase ghost. It's all muddled up, but so I breed her this year. She goes with the JMG male. I got lockup pigs. Everything goes right. Everything's been going right. She goes into her pre-lay shed, and so she never sheds. It was really weird. I talked with some of the big colubrid guys. She just never sheds. She gets huge.
into
Got
blue.
pictures of her, man. She went into blue and then went into shed and then
Just playing Candy Crush.
Justin's playing Candy. That's all right, Justin. I play Candy
I'm
Crush.
listening. I'm
He's
listening.
multifaceted.
Just threw you right into that. So she blue, right? So she blue
So-
and stay blue.
So No, she went to blue. Then she went to the actual point of shedding, and then just never shed the skin. It started peeling and stuff in different points of her body. It just didn't happen. And she's so gravid. She got huge. She got bigger than I ever would have thought. So I weighed her. So I weigh all my animals before I start pairing them up. And she was probably about 380 grams. She was on the kind of middle side of a corn snake, and she had gotten up to about 500 grams gravid. She had given up food for about 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, she was just getting huge. Goes into shed, doesn't peel off. So I go 10 days, which is normal for me for a corn snake. No eggs, and I'm just like, well, hell, I'm not gonna fuck with her. I'm gonna let her do her thing. And then about 5 days later, I decided to give her a little soak, try and get some of that skin off of her. Maybe if it's giving her irritation or something, that's why she doesn't want to lay. Start take her out of the soak. I mean, we're talking room temperature water, nothing crazy. Maybe 5-10 minutes. Let's call it 10-12 actually. Start peeling a little bit of the skin off of her. Boom, she dies in my hands. Right. So this snake, I mean, she starts guppying, dude. She starts like doing the thing. You know when an animal's gonna die, like it starts flopping and doing its thing. Yeah. And so I had so many people, and so she died, and I froze her, and I gave her to a buddy who has a dry mark on, because that's my go-to when a snake dies. Freeze it, give it 30 days, give it to a dry mark on. I didn't try to extract the eggs. I didn't do anything to try to extract the eggs. I kind of felt at that point they were past gone, and she was egg bound. I mean, she was absolutely dead for hours before I decided to do anything. Should I have cut her? Like, you know, in y'all's opinion, we've all been in this hobby for a lot of years. What's y'all's go-to on that?
I mean, I personally, it depends on how far along she was. I mean, you saying that she gained 200 grams in what, a month and a half?
Almost 200 grams, dude. Yeah, and she was 14 days post prelay, so she was due to lay. I mean, she was every bit due to lay for a colubrid.
I mean, that would be one of those scenarios where I do like I did with the chameleon. You know, see if I can get as many eggs as I can out, and then by doing that, I'm gonna answer the first question of was she gravid? Because if there's nice little white eggs in there, then you know it worked. And then the worst case scenario, you throw them in the incubator, and if they rot out, they rot out. You know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's one of those things where, like, if I was you, I wouldn't feel hard on myself for not doing it because you didn't think of it. You know what I mean? You were obviously connected with that animal. It was a major part of your life. And, I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, I always tell the story of my false water cobra that had a tumor, and she was 17 years old. So I let her just live out her life. And then I come to find out after she died, I necropsied her, and it wasn't. It was an abscess. It was a giant abscess that smushed her organs. Actually, I found the pictures if you guys want to see that. But yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. I would have, hindsight, you know, 2020, had you done it, it may have worked, but who knows? I probably would have tried.
If I'm completely honest, I probably wouldn't even thought to do it. I would have just been so focused on the animal passing.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't even thought to do it.
That was kind of my thought process. I get a little emotional with these things.
I mean, we all get a lot of emotion.
Yeah, and dude, it was like an animal I had invested a lot of time in, and I you know, personal effort into. I really liked her, and yeah, it was weird. And I had so many people be like, "Did you push the eggs out? Did you try to push them out?" I'm like, man, it's a fucking. That wasn't even the last thing I was thinking. That was the last thing on my mind.
Yeah,
I was trying to keep her going. You know, and
it's tough because, it's easy for me to say right now because we're sitting here and hindsight's 2020, but it's difficult too because like I've gotten to the point where I went to cut and I was like, I can't do this. I can't cut my gut open. I can't.
Yeah.
And I didn't, you know, and that's just it. So
especially when you're emotionally involved in an animal, like me personally, I have a good sized collection, and not to take away from most of the animals I have, but I do have a handful of animals that, for whatever reason, mean more to me, you know, than others.
Of course,
it would be hard, like you're saying, to cut one of those. To where if I was in that situation, Chris, like I said earlier, I would be so focused on the animal dying and like what the hell happened. That'd be the last thing I would think to do.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of those interesting aspects of this hobby. And I get a lot of I get flack, and I have gotten flack because I'm a big part of the gecko community and have been for going on 20 years, and I'm not. I am focused on breeding. I want to propagate these animals. I want to pay it forward. Everybody that knows me that's interested in the stuff that I'm trying to reproduce. I literally got y'all are all just getting boxes next year, right? Like you gonna get an animal from me. It's gonna happen, and
Cool.
and that's what I love about it, right? It's not. I don't care about the money. I don't care about sales. I don't have a website. I'm never gonna make money back that I have invested, and that's okay. And so I think us and all of us are established in the hobby to some extent, and some of us more than others get a little bit of flack because we're just breeders, right? That's all y'all just want to breed them. That's all y'all care about. It's like no,
Yeah, you don't actually care about the animals. It's just puppy mill, baby factory.
Yeah. It's
Just
my Sandy
today.
Yeah.
That kind of goes back. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but my blog a little bit. Kind of like when
Is it the recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of ties into it. Like, in my opinion, once you keep for a certain amount of time, it's just a natural progression. Like you keep an animal for so long, then it's like, all right, I got the husbandry down. Now let's breed. But once you get X amount of babies, of course you're going to think, okay, well, obviously I don't want to keep all these babies. If I can help the food bill or something like that.
Yeah. It may you there are some moves that you will make in this hobby. I'm gonna call them moves that will put you towards a propensity to make income, right? I work with bull snakes. I love Pidgeots. Pidgeots are my favorite. They are. I've spent 5 years getting all of them, right? I have almost all of them. I bought every single genetic morph involved in bull snakes over the past year so that I can start moving those into my multiple locality animals and start generating heads and then start diversifying the genetics of these animals. But also each of these they sell well. I can recuperate money from that. That doesn't make me like the genus less, right? That doesn't make me not name these fucking animals Snow Cone and Sunshine. I let my daughter help me name them, but there are moves you're going to make. There's decisions you're going to make. There's things you're going to do while you have a collection of a couple hundred animals or 100 animals or so, to want to make some income to generate that. We've all talked about reputation. We've all talked about names. We do that with our personalities and our maybe our sociability and our capability of getting our ideas out. But it's that care. I think it all comes back to that. It's the actual true care of.
Oh, dude, it's totally a bottom up thing. Like I think about that a lot. Your quality of customer service, your quality of communication, your quality of animal. It all starts with how well is your collection taken care of.
Yep. It all starts with you. Yeah.
It's the small things, that add up. It is the details that add up. You keep a good routine of cleaning and feeding everything and making sure everything's healthy. Like that does snowball into other things, in a weird, like subconscious sort of way.
Well, not to, I really hope this doesn't come across as me patting myself on the back, but I've done a few shows and I've had people come up to me and they have no idea what a carpet python is, or they do, or their child knows what it is and they just want to talk about, what it is, how I take care of them, whatever. I'll sit there at a show and take, I think the last show I talked to this one family for like 20, 30 minutes. I took one out. I knew they weren't going to buy one. I'm just talking about the animal, telling them what's going on. There was no inkling that they were going to buy one from me. I just wanted to tell them why I enjoy it, what they would need to do realistically for it. And towards the end, they're like, I think this is something we're possibly going to want to get. And if we do get it, it'll definitely be from you. We'll wait until it's you that get it. And going back to the reputation and stuff, that's,
absolutely.
It all ties together, customer service, how you treat people, how you treat your collection. You know, if you're just trying to grab money and stuff, it's, hey, here it is, put it in this size tank, this temperature, do you want it or not? Here's your chance. You know, there's a big difference between that.
Well, just like anything else, people, the right people, I should say, will pick up on the bullshit.
And
Yeah, for sure.
The ones that are smart enough will know when you are bullshitting people.
sure. And I know Billy doesn't say it, but I can tell you right now that Billy took a crap load of pride, and it felt good to him to know, I hate to speak for him, he's sitting right there. It felt good for him to know that not only did he educate these people who enjoyed the education, but now they're better in their pet purchasing ability as well as their general knowledge of snakes. You know, like that's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
There's something that we all get to do. You can spend just as much time convincing somebody to not buy something as you are to buy something, right? Like this pet is right for you if A, and this pet is wrong for you if B. But if these things congeal, maybe we can get to C and work this out. It's a, you know what I mean? And that's because I'm so glad to be talking with people that y'all love what y'all do. I love what I do. I love dealing with these fucking things. They all make me so happy. And that's something that's paying it forward, man. That's that feeling. You pay it forward.
I have honestly probably talked myself out of more Jag sales than I've made, because I'm straight up with people about what it is, what it does, what can possibly happen. Because
Billy's just like, yo, these things are retarded.
No, but I'm honest with them. I tell them what it is.
It's sexy.
You know, because they look nice. I mean, that's why I got into carpets. It was because of Bullwinkle and Son of Bullwinkle, if you guys remember those snakes.
I do.
Yeah, so, but I'm straight with people because, like you were saying, Chris, I genuinely enjoy this hobby. I love this hobby. I love my snakes, and I want people that enjoy it with me to have that same feeling. You know, I don't want them to buy a snake and then 6 months later be like, "Oh shit, this guy took me." You know, because we've all been there.
Absolutely.
That's the last thing I want. So
my fucking pair of double male Chesapeake Bay Eastern king snakes that fucking tried to kill each other for 3 days, bro. I got you. It's every bit of that.
Side note, you ever do Outer Banks King?
No.
Stick steps.
So my king snake involvement has been a handful of California king stuff. Alterna. So I raised Alterna and did Alterna stuff for 20 years almost. That was my fucking snake, man. That was my jam. Never, ever wanted to reproduce them. But I would buy every single one that you had that didn't eat. I'll take every single one of them. I'll make it happen. And then now I've got some Eastern Black Kings, some Kentucky locality stuff from Joe Phelan over at Port City Pet. But as far as the Kings go, I'm really digging some variable Kings. Thayrai have been like giving me the itch lately. That has been like my jam. Yeah. Fucking nice, man.
Well, if you want more space and you want to get rid of some, you just send those Transpigos rats over to me and I'll handle that for you.
I have a great collection. I love my collection, and I will always call it a collection because that's what it is. I got the chance to be on the Port City Python podcast recently, and I talked about the fact that I'm so excited to not breed these things, right? Like I'm so excited to just have them and never breed them, and man. There are some standouts of things that I got in the last couple years, and the Subox, the Rosalie, anything from those two Boger Tropus. Fuck, dude, those are special snakes, man. They are so standoutish. They act different. They wrap up different. You hold them and they feel different. They're not a Pantheropus, right? Like you can tell they're not elephant, right? They're not from the same loins as your normal rat snakes. They are different, dude. They're everything about them. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, Jags are beautiful, man.
That's going to that's the old Bullwinkle. I was trying to go with the comments without telling you guys or
There's
interrupting
Phil
you.
holding his snake.
No, that is not. That is Dom's snake. Real quick before we talk about Dom's snake, I want to go back to Billy because I feel like Billy didn't. We sidetracked. What we're going to say about the finish with the Jags.
Yeah.
No. You were saying you were talking about how you talk people out of them. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't know if there was more that you were going to say. I felt like I cut you off on accident.
No, I'm straight with people. I'm not. Whenever I go to a show, so I've done shows for 2 years now. I've talked to a lot of vendors. I try to network. I try to see who the good guys are and the guys that are just there for the bottom line. And I don't want to be one of those guys that someone says, "Oh, I bought a snake from that guy Billy," and I'm not happy with what I got.
Right.
So I know the knowledge of what the Jag gene is. For whatever reason, everybody now is against that. Spiders, Enigma leopard geckos, whatever. That's a whole nother discussion. But I personally like them. They got me into them. I know exactly what the gene is. I have animals that show it. I have animals that don't. If I have I guess it's a moral thing to some people. I have a moral compass that if they show so much, they get cold. If not, they continue to thrive. I don't have any issues with that. But I just try to convey that to people and educate them to where they're completely happy with what they get from me. Or if someone comes up to me and they say, "Hey, Billy," like I had a guy in Daytona. He said, "Hey, do you have any diamond pythons?" I obviously don't have any diamond pythons on my table, but I told that person who I know that I respect who has them, because I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody. It's a hobby. We should be happy with what we get. If you want a diamond python, let me tell you where to get the best diamond pythons, and you make that decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if someone says, "Hey, I want some bears," say, "Hey, let me send you to the Bear Die King of the South." That's where you're gonna go.
King of the South.
That's right. Yeah, you haven't heard that one yet, have you?
Dude, Justin Smith, the Bear Dot King of the South. It's actually
he's gonna get a crown. He's gonna get a crown. Yeah,
I'll chip in. Let me ask you, Billy. So
I'll wear it at shows, and everyone will be like, "What are these?" I'm like, "No one keeps them."
We have to get it anodized, the colors of the bears.
Justin, I gotta make you a shirt. Bear Die King of the South. We gotta do this.
Billy, I've never extensively worked with Jags. It just really wasn't my thing. I mean, they're gorgeous, especially those ones with high white and high red. But how soon in your babies do you notice the Stevie Wonder syndrome?
So here's the thing. That's fair. That's fair.
I mean,
when they start Ray Charles and around the cage.
Let me rephrase that real quick. I'm not insinuating that all of your babies or your produced animals are going to stargaze, but the ones that you've noticed that happen to stargaze due to the genetics that we all know about, how soon can you identify that or see that?
Okay, so I'm very sorry for this, Phil. Stargazing is a very bad thing. None of them stargaze. That means bad stuff. They will corkscrew and do that.
Do loop-de-loops like angels in the outfield.
I have none that do that. I have one animal that, being completely honest, I have one animal that if any stressor comes, which is either feeding, handling, whatever, he'll throw a loop. But if he's not getting stressed, he's just hanging out.
Okay.
That's it. I do know of Jags and other collections that anytime they move, it's 100% corkscrew. It
sucks.
It's honestly heartbreaking, and that's one that should be put down. But it's not my collection. It's not my decision.
Right. I wasn't.
Hey guys, I'm gonna step away for 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to be insulting. I was.
No. This is what it is. So, all right. You want me to give you my stance on Jags and spiders and all that? Okay. A lot of people might not like what my thought on it is. Like I said, Jags got me into carpets. They're nostalgic for me. I do have a limit to where I would allow it to, still be. I haven't hit that limit yet. To answer your question, Phil, there's no set time. It's not, once they hit 2 years old, that's as much as they're going to get
Okay.
as far as neuro goes. It's different for every single one. Some will show 0 neuro their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Some will show it right away, straight out of the egg.
Okay.
Some will be a year, 3 years. There's been reports of some after they bred, for whatever reason, after that breeding season, they just started showing signs.
That's an STD.
Could be the clap, right? We call it the clap.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. So that's what I tell people when they're looking at a jag and all that. It's almost, I guess if you're on the outside looking in, it almost looks like I'm trying to talk them out of it, but I'm just trying to tell them exactly what can happen. Because I don't want them to get an animal and 3 years down the road, they say, oh, what the hell? This thing started, wobbling or shaking or whatever. But
damn it, Billy. You got me.
Yeah, right. 90% of the time, these people have already had a spider ball python, which is the same exact gene. And, they get it. And they're like, oh, I got a spider that does the same thing. And I'm like, it's the same exact gene. They're like, oh, okay, I can deal with that. And then it's, it goes to a responsible person that understands what it is. And then they make the choice on if they're going to breed it or not breed it or whatever.
Right.
So my stance on it is this. Okay. This recent outcry against jags, spiders, enigma leopard geckos has been the last year or two, it seems like.
Yeah, about that. 16 months or so?
Okay.
About 2
So
years, year and a half,
jags, yeah, something like that. So jags popped up in the Netherlands in 94. They showed up in the US in 97. So they've been here since then. There was a time where they were thousands of dollars, right? This gene has never been different. It's always been the same. Spiders showed up in 98, 99? They've always been the same. They were thousands of dollars. Now you can get a spider for $50?
Yeah.
That's the connection I make. Now that it's not, I hate saying this, but not that it's not as lucrative, seems like people are like, oh, well, it's not as profitable, so now let me get uppity about it or whatever. I genuinely like the animal. I knew what it was from the get-go, whether if it's $200 or $2,000. I like the animal. It doesn't matter. And it kind of irks me a little bit to see people, that I've had people get crappy with me on post or whatever, and they tell me, hey, just because you can do it, you shouldn't do it. Talk about my Jack Pondras or whatever.
Yeah.
So I asked them, I said, hey, how much experience do you have with Jags? He said, oh, I have one. I've had it for 6 months.
I watched a video on YouTube last night about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I saw the Go Herping video, and he said not to have them, so I can't have them.